Okie dokie. So it has been a while, but I've got a gorgeous Assa 600 with gin spools. I absolutely love the sort of polished look on them. But yeah, so let's have a look at a key. So we've got some really high cuts in the middle, but as we will see later, that one isn't as high as it looks. But we'll get to that when we get the lock gutted. And then we've got some quite low cuts in there as well. So they'll basically start off in the milling. But let's get picking. So we've got two tensioners. Slightly annoying. These are the ones that I made myself out of bits of wiper blade. But this bit is slightly too long. If you put it all the way in, it hits pin 1, which stops it moving properly. So I'm going to have to be very careful not to insert it as far as it can go and hold it a bit further out. We're using two tensioners so we can float pick it. And I've got two picks here, which are both Lawlock tools. I can't remember exactly which model, but I've got a deep hook and we've also got a medium hook for those low cuts. Let's get started. So, first things first, no one's really doing anything until we get to pin 5, which gives us a click. And then as we back out of the lock, oh, doesn't want to do it. Go on, let's try pin 5 a bit more. There we go. Click on 5, and as we pull past pin 3, drops into that false set. So we've now got all the pins in the milling. So now go 2, very gently counter rotate. And there we go, got a click and some movement. Pin 1's also stiff, so if we slowly counter rotate, click, and we're back into our false set. So now we'll get our medium hook. Let's try 3. Click, and we're back into the false set. 6 right at the back. Click, and into the false set. And now that's all we can do with the medium, so we'll go back to the deep hook. And this is back on pin 5. So, oops, if I can even find pin 5. There we go. Click there, and we're back into the false set. And then we're back to pin 3. And we are open. Easy as that. I say easy as that, you haven't seen the months of practice trying to learn to float pig, but there we go. Cool. So now it's picked, we'll get this thing gutted. So we'll move the vice out of the way. Move the picks out of the way. Bring across the mat. So this one, we haven't got a C-clip, which is lovely because I hate taking C-clips off. Just got 2 little screws here. We'll pop the screws in there so we don't lose them. I've gutted this many times progressive pinning this. So hopefully I know what I'm doing. And we've got the little back plate. Cool. So what we'll do now is we'll get our key, stick the key in there, and get a shim in. Because there's a little anti-drill pin on the side of the core, which is slightly recessed, but it just worries me that I'm accidentally going to drop one of the heads of one of the gins into it and never come out. But now that's in, let's get the core follower through. Okay. Right, we'll get our key pins out first. So there is the little, in fact, can I zoom that in? Hey, there we go. Now you can actually see what I'm doing. Let's just keep the lock. They are. Right. So I'll get the key pins out first. So first of all, pin 6. And these are all standard key pins. There's no no exciting torpedoes or anything. We have got a little master wafer on pin 3. Got another master wafer on pin 2, which is stuck to the key pin, but there we go. Another master wafer on pin 1. There's the bottom part of the key pin for 3. Anyone else? Another master wafer in pin 1. So we've now just got these pins, so I'll tap them out. So that is 1. 4. Come on. There we go. And then last but not least, pin 5. Doesn't want to come out. See if we can encourage it. There we go. Oops. That's come out the wrong way around, which is just a little bit annoying. Oh, come on. There we go. Cool. And you can see in the core, you've got the little counter milling. That's where the heads of the gins, which we'll see in a minute, are getting trapped. Which is why we need to use the float picking. Cool. So that's the core done. We'll just leave that there. Get our shim out. Now, we'll get our driver pins out. So, there we go. Pin 1 is a gin. Pin 2, also a gin. Pin 3, also a gin, which I've almost lost. I think these are steel as well. And pin 4, we've got a master wafer, and we have a gin. So, because we've got the that master wafer, it looks like it's going to be a really high, a really long key pin in position 4 there. But because you've got that master wafer, you don't actually have to lift it as far when you're picking as you would when you're using the key, which is quite handy, because otherwise that would be incredibly awkward with that key bitting. It's still not easy, but there's pin 5, which is another gin. And then finally, pin 6, oops, which I've dropped. Pin 6. And now we just need to get some springs. Spring 6. Oops. It's really annoying as well. When I'm filming, the camera is where I want to put my head to look down the lock. Spring 5. Oops. Making a break for it. Spring 4, also trying to escape. I hate doing springs. 3. 2. One. Oops. Cool. And that is everybody out of the lock. What I find quite interesting about this as well is you've got the sidebar groove in the lock body, despite this lock not having a sidebar. I'm assuming it's just for manufacturing easiness. So if you wanted to, you can just make one lock body for several different models of lock, some with the sidebar and some without. So if you wanted to do a twin, you can just grab all the same bodies off the production line. But there we go. So let's quickly focus in on the pins a bit more. There we go. So we've got a very loud car going past. We've got some a fair few master wafers in there. We've got our 6 gins. So there we go.